You are watching the Potsy and Tino show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you the tag team champions of the world. That's right, the road dog Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak, the Potsy and Tino show. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. Jones.
99 Jones.
99 Jones. And I put that intro on there tonight, Tino, for you, and I could see as I started it, you're just laughing, like off camera, you're laughing about it because it's so good. We start the show every week with what's up with you. I do want to add one little caveat to it, one little extra. What are you thankful for? Because it is Thanksgiving week.
I'm just thankful just to be here, really. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, I'm 51, and so I got a lot of people who didn't make it. I had a few people pass this year, so I'm thankful to still be here. I'm thankful for my family, thankful for my health. I got a lot of things to be thankful. I'm just blessed.
Thankful for the job. Thankful for Thankful for your kids. Obviously, you said your family, but
just being healthy, man. Because, like I said, when you get this age and then people start dropping around you, you start thinking your own mortality. Then you're like,
Yeah, my buddy Mark, who's been on the show when we did our tribute to my buddy Chris, when Mark's birthday was last Friday, and he called me out of the blue on Thursday night at like 10:30, and I said, "What's up, almost birthday boy?" He wished you a happy Thanksgiving. He actually asked what you're doing, if you're doing your Christmas party, because he wants to go back.
Yes, I am, but you won't be here, man. That was awesome. That was fun.
So I gave him the option because I know that you would let him come. I mean, you know him, so yeah. I told him he could do that, or he could come to Fayetteville with me because I've got a comic book signing out there in Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. In terms of thankfulness, I absolutely am thankful of my family, my current I would call it health, but like for the last 3 weeks I've been dealing with neck pain, back pain, arm pain.
Hey, you're above ground to feel it, my friend.
I'm still feeling it. So I am thankful that is but the threshold of pain is a little bit more than I want to deal with right now.
It's just that you're allergic to ibuprofen, because I think that would help you a lot.
I do too. And did I tell you that when I went and got the pills, I actually told him, hey, if he wants to start me on like a low dose just to see if I could take it before like I break out in hives, and he goes, we're not testing that. I'm also, I'm thankful of my family. I'm thankful of my friends. Obviously thankful for still being above ground. Next month is obviously my birthday. I'm thankful for the show, man. Like, we've been doing this for what, 8 years?
It seems longer than that, but has it only been 8 years?
I think on YouTube, I think we've been on here like 8 years.
Okay.
I could be wrong, because 8 years on YouTube would be 400 episodes, and we haven't done 400. I think we've done almost 300. So I think we've been doing this show about 8 years, maybe 9. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the show. I'm thankful for our every week contributors like Michael Turner, Chris Barrett, and Mr. Joe Lowe, Sketchy LeJoe every time he shows up. Blitzball champ, absolutely. Can't leave Jason out of that one. I feel like I'm on that, not Reading Rainbow, but the one where they used to hold up the magic mirror and they'd sit there and they say, I see Jimmy and I see John. You know which one I'm talking about. I can't remember which show it was, but
was it Captain? It wasn't Captain Kangaroo, was it?
No, that was not Captain Kangaroo.
Okay.
But you know which one I'm talking.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what it was. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So but definitely thankful for everybody here. Thankful for the the levels of creativity I've had recently, making these awesome comic books come out, and just also going to be thankful for the big turkey that I get to eat on Thursday.
Oh,
I hope my sister doesn't dry it out.
oh.
We're not deep frying it. We thought about it, but we're not deep frying it this year. But unlike the past couple of years where we've gotten one that was like pre-prepped and everything for us from like Cracker Barrel or something like that, they're making their own turkey again this year.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, Chuck Woolery died.
Just hear about Chuck Woolery. No,
No game shows.
I have not heard about. Are we going to have to?
Yeah, he passed away.
I mean, is he one that we need to do a moment for? I feel like we do now that we brought him up.
Yeah, but he was he's the original Wheel of Fortune, and about in '67 he was the game
No,
show host
he
dude.
was Love Connection.
Love Connection too, but he was the original Wheel of Fortune too. I was
Are you
reading.
serious? Before
Yep,
Pat Sajak?
before Pat Sajak.
Wow. I mean, if you want to give him his
Yeah,
flowers,
we'll give him his flowers. We'll give him his 10 seconds. His 10 second salute. Let's see, where is it? There. All right, you ready?
yep.
Here we go.
That 10 seconds felt longer than last time.
It's 10 seconds. It always feels long, but it's 10 seconds.
And he was a music guy before that.
Mm-hmm.
That is also interesting. I didn't really know that. It would make sense that he was. A lot of those guys that got on TV early as like game show hosts were obviously like radio DJs before that. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. Tino, what else? Like I cut you off so I could start talking about my stuff. What else is up with you, sir? I know that you got something going on starting tomorrow.
Yeah, well, this past weekend we did the Friendsgiving for the neighborhood, which was awesome. So I had turkey then, and we just went to his house, and everybody came and brought food, and he was just overwhelmed. It was just kind of cool, because he was, he's by himself now, so he's really appreciative, and he had a blast, and so it was good to see a smile on his face, for the holiday. So we did that. Went back to work today. Excuse me. Reason we started early tonight for us. It's because I have to pack and have to get up early, go to work because we're leaving right after Nicole gets home. Right when she gets home, we're throwing shit in the car and we're heading down to Florida to see Haley. It's her first big girl Thanksgiving, so she invited us down she invited us down for Thanksgiving. So we will leave tomorrow. Stella and Rob will drive probably halfway there, a little over. We got a hotel room. We'll crash and then we'll get up Wednesday and drive the rest of the way down and just have Thanksgiving down there and probably hit Disney, hit a park for the day, which was always exciting because I'm a big kid. I love Disney. And then we'll probably head back Saturday or Sunday. Don't know yet.
So all right, so if you're gonna hit a park, which park do you hit?
Don't know. My favorite is
Like if you only get one, which one do you go to?
mine. My go-to is I love Magic Kingdom. That's mine. Um, either Hollywood is okay. Uh, I don't like Animal because it's too hot. If I go to Animal Kingdom, I'm only going there because I like the Yeti. I like that ride, the Yeti. But 9 times out of 10, I'm hitting Magic Kingdom because that's got my the Carousel of Wonder. It has my used to be Splash Mountain. It's not that anymore. I want to get on that. So it has all the Space Mountain. It has the People Mover. It has the the Hall of Presidents. It has all. I like the bear little country bear thing. So usually that's the one. That's my go-to. I love
Well,
that
then you
one.
got Thunder Railroad, you got
Yeah.
Space Mountain, you got the mine ride now.
Hmm.
Um,
And then you got all the like the Mickey Philharmonic and
oh,
the
and you got Tron there now too,
you got
don't you?
Tron there. Yeah. So that's mine. That's where I like. What do
So
you like?
so I have like if I can only go to one, and it depends, am I allowed to drink or not?
So I already know you're going to Epcot.
Well, actually, my favorite place to go in all of Disney is Animal Kingdom when I go to drink because they have that African bar that actually serves real African
Yeah.
beer. Because they have a beer there called Tusker, because it's called the Tusker House, and they actually sell the Kenyan beer Tusker there.
I remember you saying that.
And it's funny because Katie's husband, the last time they were in Disney, just randomly, and it was right as the hurricane was getting ready to hit, like 2 days later.
Oh shit!
He sends me a message, and it sends a picture of the Tusker House, and he goes, "Guess where I'm going?" And I'm like, "It's 10:30 in the morning, man. Go have a Tusker for me." Like,
I was about to say it's gonna stop you.
well, no, it would not stop me, not at all. But then he went up to it, and apparently due to certain extradition things going on right now, they can't get any of the Kenyan beers, so they just had like regular beer there.
Oh damn!
So, but otherwise, yes, if I'm really allowed to drink, I do absolutely love Epcot, but I only really love it at the Food and Wine Festival time, which is like October, because instead of your 13 little stations where you can get the same 13 beers every time you go there, when you go to when you go during the Food and Wine Festival, they bring in different countries and stuff that are only there either then, or it might even be like the first time they've ever been there. So,
right.
So they bring different foods and different drinks and stuff like that during that time of year, and that's always a lot of fun. But when it comes to the rides, I prefer Magic Kingdom over just about any of the other ones. Speaking of which, I don't know if you heard, but did you hear that this week Disney announced that they're if I read it correctly, they're changing up the Rock and Roller Coaster. So it's gonna be Dr. Teeth and the the Muppet Band, basically.
So it's been Aerosmith forever. So they're gonna make it in the Muppets. Wow.
They're gonna make it. Well, it's gonna be that Dr. Teeth and the what are they called? Dr. Teeth and the.
I knew what you're talking about. I could ask Nicole. She's a Muppet fan.
The gold tooth redheaded guy.
Yeah.
So they're apparently changing it to that. Just like the haunted house, like the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always Twilight Zone. Apparently in California.
Tower of Terror.
Yeah, the Tower of Terror in California, they've actually already changed it to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And it still drops?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's so Disney World has a different Guardians of the Galaxy experience right now. I think that's at MGM. And then the one at California Adventure is the former Tower of Terror. And when they did it, they had to actually like bring in like the original people who designed the Tower of Terror, so that they could actually rework it so that it would work with like the because it's basically it's called like the Guardians of the Galaxy Prison Break, and it's all of the real actors from Guardians of the Galaxy have done their scenes, but it's on like those 3D screens,
right?
So like when you used to see the ghosts or whatever coming at you, now it's like Drax breaking out of like out of his cell.
That's cool.
The Electric Mayhem. Thank you.
Thank you,
Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for that. Absolutely. So you got that going on.
Yep. And so that's pretty much, and then we'll come, like I said, either Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday.
So this is what I got going on. You ready? I actually made one of these little guys for it. Boom.
Nice.
So as of today, Die Hard number 2 is now available for order. On top of that, I've already talked about my signings. I'll go ahead. I'll remind everybody. December 11th, I'll be at Fighter Flight Comics in Triangle Town Center from 11 to probably 4. But on the 14th, I will be at the Dragon's Lair selling their exclusive cover. And then from 8:15 to 9 o'clock that night, I will be at a place called the White Rabbit with the band, and the band will be signing it with me and the artists of that cover. So we're going to have the whole crew out there. There's going to be like 8 people you can get the book signed by. It's going to be pretty awesome. And they've started taking pre-orders on the Dragon's Lair's second cover, which I found out today is going to be out on February 12th. So we're in time for Christmas for the first issue. We're in time for Valentine's Day for the second issue. And we're in time for Easter for the third issue.
Look at you.
So we hit
That's
3
all the
holidays. and my buddy D Hosner, he did a cover for issue number 2, and I kept joking that we're gonna call this the what did I say? The red hot cover, I think is what I said we were gonna call it, because the bunny's actually standing in front of like just this rush of red, like blood coming down. And I was like,
blood waterfall.
yeah. So I was like, yeah. So this one's just perfect for that. It just seems like, perfect for Valentine's Day. This is your Valentine's Day cover on this one. But I thought it was hilarious that we picked this, February 12th for the second issue. The third issue goes to solicitation this week so that we're in time early, because we don't want to miss our ship date of like April 9th on that book. And today I was finalizing the covers for it. Mine obviously is the Easter Bunny's eye, and you see Huamoa, which looks like Solo Sokoa, looking at him, while he's all bloodied up and everything. Then there's 2 J Hammond covers, who is the artist of the book. And then one of my favorite things that we like to do next Halloween, you two should dress up as Fire and Ice.
I ignored him. I saw it. I'm like, I ignored it.
If Tino and I were to dress up as anything, we're dressing up as the Dudley Boys.
This?
I mean, like, why not, right?
Yes.
We could both wear the glasses. I've got the beard already for Bubba Ray. You kind of look like Devon, like.
I would just have to walk around with a 6-foot folding table.
We'll just get a big cart. We'll get a big layer of cardboard, and we'll just carry that with us.
A right table on it.
We'll draw legs on the back of it. So the final cover for it is from Billy Parker, and it's one of my favorites that we like to do with these comics. Is we're doing the action figure cover. So Billy Parker has done the action figure cover for us again, and it looks awesome. So I can't wait for people to see it. I don't want to show it off yet, because I don't want anybody like freaking out by it or anything, like sitting there going, wait, can I buy this one? Can I buy it? Because obviously it's going to be about another 2 months before you can actually order it. But we are going to have to find us a Stacy Keebler or a Spike Dudley, if we do that.
Okay. You make Flubar be Spike Dudley.
No, not really. He's taller than me.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have to get like a little kid to be Spike Dudley for us.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's what I got, Tino. I know that you got a lot planned. You got to work tomorrow. You gotta plan your trip. You still got to pack. Got to do all that stuff. So we're done with what's up with you. Let's go ahead and talk about something that's going to possibly affect pro wrestling here in the next couple years. Comcast, the owners of NBC Universal, who also own Peacock, came out this past week and said they are starting a new entity that will be a publicly traded company of most of their cable networks. And what that entails is the USA Network, the Sci-Fi Channel, Bravo, E, MSNBC, and I think there's one, maybe CNBC. All of those networks are going to be put into a giant brand of its own, which means that over time they might not be available on either Peacock or on your Comcast. Like if you don't have Comcast, they might not be available on your cable network.
But why?
I mean, let's be honest. We all know what it is. It's for money. If you create another company that's its own stock buying company, they can make money by people buying stock in the company. And then on top of that, if that part of the brand is profitable, they start making more money that way. That keeps them profitable. And then Comcast doesn't have to worry about that. They just have to worry about their Peacock subscriptions and whatever else they're running at that point.
Gotcha.
So it could be good, it could be very bad, because like I've already been talking about wanting to get rid of cable again. And right now I only keep cable to have USA, and to have the Turner network so that I can watch pro wrestling on these networks.
Right.
So if I lose half of those and I can get AEW on Max, why am I going to keep cable?
That's true. That's true.
So because you can even get ESPN by just getting ESPN Plus. So at this point, I really like. Now, granted, the other part of the news there is that they did say they anticipate that this new company branch off will take about a year to actually happen. So it's not going to be overnight that you suddenly see them not on certain things or not. But we've already seen where USA, the WWE programming at least, is not on Peacock next day. It takes a month before it is.
But I think that I guess when what do you call it? Netflix are saying it's going to be supposedly next day or simultaneous.
So when Netflix gets Raw, if we're talking the United States, because that's one of the things that you and I were discussing off air that we'll go ahead and we'll jump into, and I guess it fits kind of in with talking about these different entities and stuff. Netflix, as far as I know, as soon as the WWE broadcast is over, you'll then be able to restream it. But the stuff like SmackDown and everything else, I'm going to say that that's all going to be regionally based. So like the NBC Universal or USA channel SmackDown episodes are still going to hold up to a 1 month delay before they're on Peacock. And in the United States, they will continue to be on Peacock until March of 2026.
Got it.
You got a whole conversation going on over there.
Well, yeah, you can't hear Matthews being loud, and I'm telling him to be quiet. And he's not listening, so I told Nicole, get him before I kill him. So sorry, that's why I muted.
So, but a lot of confusion is coming up because, like you said earlier today, WWE Network is going to be 100% shut down over like the next month and a half. Well, for us, we don't have to worry about that. WWE Network's already been shut down. For everywhere else in the world, there's probably going to be that layover of like a month and a half until that January 6th Netflix date, when everything starts being loaded onto Netflix for other countries. We won't be able to get that stuff unless, I guess maybe if you have a VPN, you might be able to get that stuff by saying that you're actually based out of like the UK or something. But I don't know. Right now, we're not gonna be affected by any of this. It's just gonna be the same thing that we're doing over and over and over again. However, we can go ahead and I had this somewhere else, but I guess we can go ahead and state, where did it go?
Makes you losing shit.
Yeah, it's gone. Oh, the AEW announced this past week that the very first episode of 2025, so January 1st, 2025, is the first episode of Dynamite this year because it's on a Wednesday. And that episode will be their annual Fight for the Fallen episode. They're going to be broadcasting it right from Asheville, North Carolina. And the proceeds from ticket sales and everything else go directly towards the Hurricane Helene Fund.
Nice.
But it will also be the first episode simulcast on Max.
Oh, okay.
So brand new year.
It'll be on, what is it? TNT, TBS, and Max, or just
TBS and Max. But it'll be brought. So unlike these WWE programs where it's next day on blah blah blah, it is going to be live on.
So is that just for that night, or is that going forward too?
No, going forward. All of those going forward are going to be simulcast.
So I wonder how they're gonna do because like I have Max with no commercials, so I wonder, like I guess regular TV have commercials. How are they gonna work that with Max?
I'm
You know
sure
what I
that
mean?
I'm sure that there's gonna be the picture in picture and commercials. Like, unfortunately, with that type of stuff, you either get that or you just keep getting the commercials of like AEW programming in the AEW programming.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
But like the Penguin, when that was on, if you wanted to watch that at the same time that HBO was showing it, you literally just turned on Max at 9 o'clock, and Penguin was loaded in at the same time that Max went or HBO started showing it.
Got it.
So yes, Michael, very cool that AEW is going to be doing something special, giving the money to that. Very cool deal. Very very nice of them to be doing that. Obviously, because so many people devastated by Hurricane Helene out in that area. I mean, like Interstate 40 is gone.
Yes.
So it's no longer the longest highway that goes from one side of the country to the other.
So how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna do it in the arena?
Apparently one of the places is actually set, like ready to go for it. So I don't know how far in Asheville it is or how outside of Asheville it is. I just know that they're doing it from Asheville.
Okay.
So, and I think they're doing that Collision. Do they still do Rampage? I think all 3 shows are being broadcast from that.
But
I could just hear everything.
I know.
You're fine, man.
Swear to God, bro. Everybody in this house, as soon as I get on the show, they want to get damn loud. All right. They're quiet any other time. As soon as I start doing this,
You're just gonna have to start doing it from the garage.
I usually I want to because usually I'm in my office there, but I'm like I don't want to be in my office. I want to be kind of out here, but shit.
Yeah, you spend enough time in your office now.
Yeah, that's not when you change the pace.
So all right, I put up the next thing.
Super. Like I said, they all run together for me. What last week was? Oh, that's right. When Lex Luger. I'm tired. Lex Luthor. Lex Luger, put him on
the rack. The torture rack.
They were trying to get Lois. He was trying to get her to debate him and try to make her out to look stupid. And they had the dude from The Flash.
Yes, they had Tom Cavanaugh from The Flash playing. I forget what his name
Godfrey.
was. Oh yeah, Godfrey. And I was hoping he was going to be the character that they bring in as Brainiac, because wouldn't it have been cool if Harrison Wells in this different universe of Superman all of a sudden did something to his brain to make him so smart that he wanted to like just collect all the information from everywhere in the universe? Like
I'm almost wondering if that dude that's working for Lex that took over the suit.
That is Brainiac.
Oh, yeah. That is Brainiac. Okay.
Now it's not Brainiac like the Supergirl Brainiac, the green one or whatever. But as far as I know, so far he's a human that is just like a collection of knowledge, right?
Okay.
Surprisingly, the episode was actually directed by Lex Luthor himself, Michael Cudlitz.
I'm just glad he shaved that fucking beard.
Well, now he shaved his head, he shaved his beard. Now he is. Yeah. I wonder if it's so when he, because sorry folks, we're gonna ruin it for you if you haven't watched it, but at the end of it, because the end of the last episode, the woman told him, we're gonna get you a killer suit. And then at the end of this episode, when they bring in the Brainiac style character who overrides John Henry Iron's suit, when it gets to Lex Luthor at the end of the episode looks at it and goes, now that's a killer suit.
Yeah.
So the whole episode, like you said, it was all about them debating each other, and it looked like Lex was ahead in the debate, and then it looked like Lois was just about to like put the nail in the coffin on him, by calling his daughter.
Yep.
And that's when suddenly Clark Kent had to fly out of the building. And of course, Godfrey's like, he had to break my window?
No, that was Lex Luger's. That was Lex. I keep saying Luger. That was Lex Luthor's place. My thing is, I think too, and again, sorry we're going to spoil it, but it's been a week. Um, where he said that I guess when John did the test on him, I'm like, I knew that human heart was going to be the death of him, and
Oh,
so
yes,
it's causing
yes.
him to age. I was so pissed. I text him like, that's some fucking bullshit. He's like, what? I said, now he's gonna lose his powers and die. He said he
So
already died. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know what I meant.
so there's 2 episodes left. I was talking to my buddy Jeremy about it. We still think that there is a possibility that Superman's heart was not the heart that he squished with his foot. Okay? And I think for him to have the same kind of power as Superman, they're going to use the heart as the power source in the suit.
You think so?
So I think at the end of the series, Superman's going to get his heart back.
Okay, I didn't think about that. I
So
forgot all about that.
So like earlier in the season, I told you I don't think it's really his heart, and my buddy Jeremy and I said exactly the same thing, and this was not during the same conversation. Like I had the conversation with you, that he calls me up and he goes, I don't think so, because what I think is that there's no way that his foot would be able to squish Superman's heart, and I was like, I said the same thing to Tino. Like, how do we know whether or not his heart has the same type of like strength that the rest of his body has?
That's
The
true.
heart's supposed to be the strongest muscle, so if it is, how can he sit there and squish it with a foot?
Yeah.
So all things considered, and when I told him the idea of it being the battery for the suit, he was like, I don't think so. And I was like, well, they've had other characters, like they have one called the Kryptonite Man, where he wears like a suit that's actually
Yeah.
powered by kryptonite, and now he has a kryptonite heart, so when the suit goes on him, like he's powered by that. So why couldn't it be that the heart can power the suit just like a kryptonite rock can power his heart?
Okay.
So that's where I'm standing right now. If I'm wrong, it'll be like the first time this season I've been wrong about like the things that they could do with it. But I'm still holding firm to that, because I held firm since season 1 about the touching the damn spaceship to get the powers. And I'm glad that one paid off, because I didn't see anything anywhere that talked about that. So for 4 years, nobody talked about that. And I just happened to be right when I said it like in the middle of season 1. But you started watching, and so did I, another show last week, and we both binge watched the entire thing.
Yeah, me and my wife binge watched it. It was Cross. It was on Prime. It's based on the James Patterson book, the character from the James Patterson series. It was fucking phenomenal. If you guys hadn't watched it, I highly recommend it. I was telling Rob, we're probably going to go back and watch it again. It's only 8 episodes, but I'm gonna probably go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes. It's about hour-long episodes each, because Amazon does like to actually give you your money's worth. I noticed that probably because it was still one of their new shows, it was without commercials. So you got
No,
the commercial.
I had commercials. It's like,
Oh, did you? Because mine had
yeah,
commercial at the beginning, commercial at the end, but it didn't. I didn't remember seeing commercials in
yeah,
the middle.
we had commercials in the middle.
So what I've noticed is every time that they show their new shows, if you watch them in that first like 2 or 3 days, there's no commercials on them.
That's probably what we didn't watch in the first 2 or 3 days.
But you're right; it was absolutely excellent. My favorite part of the entire series, though, because it also had the guy that played Tom from the show with James Spader in it, the one that played what's her face's husband for the first couple seasons, and then he disappeared, and then he showed up on that medical show on NBC. The Blacklist. He was on the Blacklist. The bad guy in it. Couple things that I liked about Cross, by the way. I liked that you already knew who the bad guy was, and it wasn't like they were trying to hide it from you. Like it allowed him to be even more diabolical throughout the entire season.
I get that, but the two twists that got me, I'm like, I didn't see it coming. The pregnant cop and
Oh,
then the mom. I didn't see those two. I'm like, what the? Fuck? Me and Nicole were like, the hell?
yeah.
That the twists and turns in that show, dude. And I'm not giving away, but you know who I'm talking about when I say
Oh,
those two things. You know who I'm
so
talking about.
so as soon as so at one point he walks outside, he sees two cops waiting outside for him, and they're like, well, they're just waiting to take the what do they call them? Why can't I remember words all of a sudden?
Words.
Yeah. They're getting ready to take the one guy to make a statement, and he's like, "Oh, you have a witness. Are you sure?" And I was like,
Yes.
"Oh no!" Like,
It didn't dawn on me until it was right there, and all of a sudden it's like bam. But Nicole was like, holy fuck.
yeah, and but unlike most shows, she
There's a
didn't
reason.
she didn't try to pass it off or anything. She just accepted it, said, I hope I can redeem myself, whatever, and did her own thing.
What the fuck is that?
It's someone trying to get me to sign up for their get more viewers thing. It's on Twitch. That's why it's idiotic, but they spelled idiotic wrong. Uh, um, so I really enjoyed it. I like that
Yes,
show.
it was a good show.
Obviously. Oh, so this week was all of the Law and Orders mid-season finales. In fact, I think it was the mid-season finale for like every NBC show. By the way,
Don't
they're done
forget
until like the second week of January.
motherfucking Found and Irrational. Oh,
Irrational.
God, it's so good.
We might get another episode this week, I think. And I say that because it was off for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So I think they might spread that one out so that we still get some new content in the
but
process.
but Found, dude has to keep getting better, dude. Has to keep getting better.
I'm just hoping they don't fuck up the payoff.
Yeah,
Because I'm thinking at some point that show has to end with Sir dying.
or going to jail. But you think he has to die though?
Well, I like his character turn right now where he's like, I need to fix all of you,
Yes,
which is scary
yes,
because it means he thinks he's the hero.
dude. It's getting too good.
It really is. It really is. The final episode of the mid season of SVU was one of the most intense episodes I feel like they've ever done.
Oh wow.
And they've done some where like Olivia gets like captured by like a guy who wants to rape her and everything, and those are normally pretty rough episodes. This one was, you know who a lot of the characters are, right? Because you've watched episodes.
I've watched episodes. I probably don't remember names. I probably, if I saw them, I go, oh yeah, that chick.
So
Yeah.
so the blonde chick Kelly Giddish, who was a staple on the show for like 12 years, but then they basically wrote her off last season, but then this season they've kind of written her back in.
Okay.
Her husband was a cop named Carisi who ended up becoming one of the ADAs. So he decided, I don't want to be a cop anymore because that's too much to watch. So I'll become the lawyer that sits there and actually takes all those bastards down, right? So he walks out, he's getting ready to go get like flowers for his assistant because it's her birthday or whatever. And he walks into a bodega, and the bodega is being robbed at the time that he walks in.
Oh no.
And it causes this very claustrophobic, very intense hostage situation for the entire episode. And it's SVU, so it's supposed to be sexually committed crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they had to throw some of that in there too. It's all about these two guys that are now out of prison, and they're holding up this place, and there's two women in there, and the one guy takes one into the walking cooler. All the while, like the guy who runs the bodega sees the phone ringing because the cops are trying to call to establish a line of communication for the hostage situation. And when he picks up the phone, he gets shot. Everything like it literally is one of the most intense episodes I've ever seen. And at the end of it, they've now added this extra element to the Carisi character, who was always just like, oh, I'm going to take you down because that's what I do because I got this New York accent and I'm an ADA, like that's always been his character. And this time, like now all of a sudden, like at the end of the episode, Mariska Hargitay and Kelly Gittish's characters, so his wife and his former captain are sitting there and they're having dinner with him, and he walks off to go do something, like he finally goes to give the flowers to his assistant, and Kelly Gittish's character just looks at Olivia and goes, "He's not really okay, is he?" And she's like, "Nope." And that's it. That's like how they end it. And then the thing that upset me about that is that when they showed like going forward, like the preview for the mid-season start, like he's fine. He's just being an ADA again, and you're like, you fuckers, like at least show something where he's like struggling with it,
Yeah.
Like it only has to be 3 seconds of the episode, like whatever. And in the episode they probably will, but they should have shown it in the preview.
Yeah.
Just my feelings on it. Anyways, you're right about Irrational. You're right about Found. Have you been watching Brilliant Minds?
No, I need to start that. Like I said, I've got too much between this new job. I ain't had a chance to barely watch what I want to watch. So no, but it's on. I've got it on my you hit your watch list. So it's added to my list. So it's on my to watch list.
It's so good, man. Like, and it's by the same people that do Found. You were right. It's and there's one other person that's one of the producers for it that's not from all of those people, and they're actually a well-known actor, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head, and it always shocks me when I see the producers information. So, but let's jump into pro wrestling. Now, I will go through the Full Gear results, but let's not try to spend too much time on them. We can spend time on different things with it, but not necessarily the whole thing. So here we go. Full Gear results. Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. Surprisingly, Anna Jay pins Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay.
Obviously, AEW is going with their AEW original in this situation. It said, Bleacher Report said, a quality match that deserved better placement on the show, given how much conversing and promo work followed.
Okay.
Apparently it led to something with so Taya Valkyrie ended up interfering, leveling Anna Jay with a spear in front of referee Mike Posey, and somehow that wasn't enough to get a disqualification.
Yeah,
that's AEW, right? Next match on the pre-show was Dante Martin, Commander, Buddy Matthews, and Beast Muertos. Do you know who won?
Buddy Matthews.
All
right.
Which surprised me a little bit. I would have thought they might go with like a Dante Martin in that situation.
Nah.
Matthews defeated them. The pop for Muertos was indicative of the fans' base reaction based on his mix of speed, agility, and power. Matthews' chance started, so they're getting behind Buddy Matthews. The final match of the pre-show was Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall.
Don't care.
Well, I applaud them for attempting to do a similar thing that does get eyes on product. Okay? Like the Logan Paul having 100 million followers, whatever. The Big Boom AJ guy and his son do have a large following on like TikTok.
I never heard of who are they? I guess I'm not. I just never heard of them.
So it's a guy and his kid that go into Costco and they eat like the pepperoni rolls that they make at the shows. So they have these giant like pepperoni rolls and they eat them. They're like, here comes the boom. It's pretty bad, but I applaud them for attempting to get the social media marketing out there.
A crossover, okay.
And interestingly enough, the Big Boom AJ guy and QT Marshall have actually known each other for about 20 years.
Yeah.
So it made sense. I'm glad it didn't actually make it to the pay-per-view because Tony Khan's the type of person right now with his crazy booking that this could have been a main event on like Collision. I was wondering why you're doing that first, and then I'm like, oh yeah.
The Big Boom. Who won that? I'll take that. Did the Big Boom win?
Big Boom AJ defeated QT Marshall, and by the way, the timekeeper for the match was the Rizzler, who apparently is another TikToker who has like 100 million followers.
Okay.
Then we got to the main show, the AEW 4-Way Tag Team Championship. It was the Acclaimed versus Private Party versus the Kings of the Black Throne and the Outrunners. And I think that there's some issues with the Acclaimed.
Yeah, it's been building. It's been because Caster has been getting a little big for his britches, and he's been listening to MVP a little bit. I thought he's getting ready to turn and join MVP and turn on.
Dude, he gave his rap. And his rap was a little bit darker than usual. And then he threw the microphone at Bowens. And the microphone flew almost to the commentary desk, and Bowens had to go get it. And then
damn.
The match ended with hold on. The match ended with Private Party retaining.
Thought so.
Well, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was Brody King and Malachi Black.
I wanted it, and I knew it wouldn't be, but it would have been such a swerve, and it would have been so fucking good if the Outrunners would have won that match. Because they're hot, they're getting hot. You know what I'm saying? And not even Kiva, just won the match for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? Just you know I hate hot potato and titles, but they're so hot right now. I don't.
Tag team titles can be hot potatoed all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a TV title. You're supposed to hot potato it. It's supposed to be the flavor of the week winning that.
So I think the Outrunner should have won that, but I'm okay with Private Party keeping retaining.
The fans unloaded negative chants towards Caster while showing support for Bowens, and the reactions from the competitors themselves only further planted the seeds of the dissension.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong versus MJF, but go ahead.
I forgot about that one.
Well, you sounded like you had something you wanted to say about.
No, I'm saying it is coming. I saw it coming, and it's time. You know, it's time. Because I think, but who's the Marty Jannetty of that team? And who's the Shawn Michaels of that team? You know what I mean? Who's the bigger star of that? You think Caster's the bigger star? Or you think Bowen is?
Well, Caster has the better mic work.
Mm-hmm.
They're both about the same in the ring, which means that Caster's probably the Shawn Michaels.
All right. MJF and I want to say that Roddy won, but I think MJF won.
MJF submitted him.
Yeah.
Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom made the save conveniently enough after MJF did most of his damage, which made Kyle O'Reilly come down and get mad at Adam Cole for not coming down sooner.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is good storytelling.
Yeah.
So I want it to be known I'm giving credit on an AEW event here, folks. I've said 3 positive things about them now.
Oh, shit. Hell froze over.
I know, right? TBS Championship, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. Moné defeats her in a B+ match. A great showing for the women's division. This was proof positive of what the roster is capable of when given time to go out and have a no-frills contest.
Okay.
and I also want to say that Camille has looked awesome recently. Like with the bad shoulder or whatever she's got busted up, she's looked awesome as a person who is vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she's 100%, she should be China.
Yes.
Top moments. I'll say. You know what?
Let's Mercedes
Monet Munnets. Yeah.
Shut up.
If the crowd reaction was any indication, the city of Boston may be the most hated heel on the entire show.
Damn.
Monet made her way to the ring without Camille after ordering her to stay in catering while she showed out her how to handle business. And Statlander clutched her injured knee even after she failed the 450 splash. Next matchup: Switchblade Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page.
Switchblade.
It was Switchblade. Switchblade won. Each wrestler overcame hobbling injury to battle deep into the contest, culminating in a somewhat surprising outcome. After the match, an enraged Page attacked White and added a hard right hand to Christopher Daniels as the commentary team questioned what the latest loss would mean for his psyche.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Again, good storytelling. I'm down with this.
Okay.
Like we knew they were going to put on a good match, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So actually having the storytelling elements that go into it, because this would affect the main event, by the way. All right, next up, the Dave Meltzer match of the night. As you would expect, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, who do you think won?
Fletcher.
It was Kyle Fletcher. So from let's see, Fletcher absorbed everything Ospreay threw at him in an emotionally fueled grudge match to fight out of a Tiger Driver 96 attempt on the ring apron, counter it, and drive his mentor into the steel ring steps with a tombstone pile driver. This caused a lot of heat with pro wrestlers that actually talk on podcasts.
Why?
The match continued after that, and it was an almost immediate continuation.
Mm-hmm.
A tombstone pile driver on the ring steps should equal finish. 100%, no questions asked. Go ahead, audience. Tell me I'm wrong if you want to. But here's the deal. There is no way that Will Ospreay should have been able to kick out after this moment. From there, the former half of Aussie Open fought through every last grasp attempt at a comeback and delivered a brainbuster on the ring ropes for the biggest win of his career. So he got a brainbuster on the ring ropes instead of the move that quote unquote could end somebody's career.
Mm-hmm.
Bleacher Report did give the match an A+. Ospreay wore gear that was inspired by the Punisher, and Fletcher enjoyed a star-making performance complete with the crown of proto-star graphics. The tone of any AEW show changes when the aerial assassin enters the arena. Absolutely. Like, we've seen it. We've been there. We felt it. Fletcher countered an Oz cutter with a neck breaker in a spot that brought the fans to life. So it's interesting that Bleacher Report had to say that move brought them to life when it's a Will Ospreay match. So I wonder if they started with catch as catch can and then had to start doing the high spots based on who they are. Champagne celebration. Mina Shirakawa had a champagne bottle broken over her head by Mariah May.
I knew that was going to happen.
So we didn't get a titty celebration. They gave it a B. Let's go right to the next match. Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry for the TNT Championship.
I did see that one. I saw that he made Perry tap out. But how did he tap him out?
So,
A sharpshooter. He's a version of a sharpshooter.
did he?
I think that's what I saw.
I'm looking. Hold on. Frustrated. Yes, applied a sharpshooter. He upped the torque, sat back, and forced the submission for the win. Unfortunately, Bleacher Report didn't like the match. They gave it a C plus.
What?
Yeah. This was a bit disappointing, if only because the layout early on greatly impacted the audience's investment in it. So the audience wasn't invested in the match. And I could see that being a reason to actually give a downturn on the score. It was nice to see Jack Perry lose. However, does this mean that Jack Perry now disappears with the Young Bucks?
Probably.
So it's very possible. AEW International Championship match, Ricochet versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Take a shitter.
He retained. Even a middle of the road match between these two is still fairly strong thanks to the talent involved. But coming out of Full Gear, we still anxiously await that show-stealing match of the year candidate from Ricochet. Haven't had it yet. He's still too much in the WWE frame of mind. But you know what? You know what that also means? He's making sure he doesn't get hurt.
Yes.
All right. A match I know you were interested in. And I'm not even fucking with you. Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley.
Lashley hit him with the Hurt Lock.
Lashley did hit him with the Hurt Lock.
Oh, damn.
They brought Nana into the ring. They beat the hell out of Nana after the match. It was abundantly clear that while they were not delivering awe-inspiring spots or even an above-average match, fans cared about both competitors and reacted accordingly. And I will admit, since Bobby Lashley has shown up in AEW, he is the first real competitor in AEW that came directly from the WWE that when they showed up and they showed out has really been over with the crowd. Like I don't think we got that when we got Adam Copeland. I don't think we got that when we got Ricochet. I don't think we got that when we didn't get that when we got Mercedes Moné. Lashley, they want to succeed.
Yeah.
So I like the fact. I wonder if it's because they look at him more as a TNA competitor than a WWE competitor. But he is probably the biggest name they've brought in, and no doubt since Jon Moxley, he is the biggest name they've brought in that was a WWE guy when the company started.
Yes.
Edge should have been, but I don't think they ever handled him correctly. AEW World Championship match, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley.
Mox.
Correct. Moxley won the match. Here's what Bleacher Report had to say. Rexley Squeeze fought back late, capitalizing on his friend, taking out Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Marina Shafir at ringside, and looking like he might do the unthinkable by defeating Moxley. One last bit of interference from Wheeler Yuta, which came to the back of the head, causing him to take the Death Driver. Moxley retains. After the match, the Death Riders attempted to poison Cassidy with cleaning solution before Hangman Page made the save.
Who did?
Hangman Page.
What?
Now, Christian Cage then came down, teased a cash-in opportunity, and then who do you think stopped Christian Cage?
Probably someone I wouldn't even think of.
No. Remember, I said one match was going to affect the outcome of the main event. Switchblade Jay White stopped that from happening, and the heels rushed out of the arena, only to be nearly struck by Darby Allin, who wrecked his car into the pickup. So,
Oh, God.
So Cassidy loses the match and doesn't even get in front of a crowd of like 9,000 people. Doesn't even get to have that moment of like, I'm going to get one up even after I got the 1, 2, 3 against me. And instead, they have Darby Allin show up and wreck his car into their pickup truck outside the arena. So the arena is probably at this point, if I had to guess, booing the shit out of the events because they're happening outside.
Yeah.
After I gave so many compliments to the show, I feel like they ended it like an episode of Dynamite. And what the fuck is up with trying to pour cleaning solution down a man's throat?
They try to kill it because they tried to kill Daniel Bryan. First, they tried to put the bag on him, then try to choke him out. Now they're trying to poison. So they're just attempted murderers and they're still running free apparently. And it's not like they don't have any witnesses. You got thousands in attendance and millions at home.
So I guess all we have to say about Dynamite, I'm not going to talk about last week's Dynamite. I'm just going to talk about upcoming Dynamite, is that we're going to get the next stage in the story, which is probably going to be more Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus the Death Riders.
Yeah.
We will get some clarification on the Kyle O'Reilly, MJF, and Undisputed Kingdom stuff too, which I'm hoping. And I've been dogging Kyle O'Reilly with where he is with the conglomeration or whatever the fuck they're called for a while now. But I would like to see Kyle O'Reilly actually be the one that joins up with MJF.
Oh shit, that'd be interesting.
Which is what Kyle O'Reilly needs.
Never see that coming. Okay.
So all right. Last week's Monday Night Raw. we both
trying to remember. Mommy came back.
She did. She now has to wear that face guard.
Undertaker, Cody Rhodes. They just handed that shit down.
Oh, it's only smoke and mirrors.
Who else? Oh, no. He gave his to JC Jane. Remember that?
Yeah.
So who's Rhea's wearing? Who's Rhea's wearing?
Hers is 100% black, which is just kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, it fits her character though.
It kind of does. It kind of does. And I'm glad that it means that she's actually still going to be able to compete, because she has spent a lot of time on the shelf with weird injuries recently.
Yeah. So she's in War Games, which one of the participants now we'll talk about later is going to be in War Games.
Well, you want me to just go ahead and
put it up.
Click on that. There we go.
So apparently Jade is legit hurt. She's
nobody has confirmed it, but that's why there's a question mark here.
No, I read it. She's hurt. She's got to heal for injury.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think she's got an MCL injury. I think is what they're claiming. But either way, she's out. But that's why I put the question mark up here.
Yeah.
And
you know who took her place?
In the War Games?
Mm-hmm.
Would be the role model. Bailey joined the match, which I was kind of surprised she wasn't in it to begin with.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that. Oops, hit the wrong button. But still, with Monday Night Raw, did we get it? We've got a match this week between Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, because Braun Breaker was defending his title against Sheamus, and Ludwig came out and pretty much ended that match. He hurt Sheamus. He slammed Sheamus into the steel ring post, and I forget what he did. He did something to Breaker too. I don't remember what he did to Breaker.
Is it weird to you, or does it like as weird to you as it is to me, or do you think that they are organically turning Braun Breaker babyface again, like 3 weeks after they just turned him heel again against Jey Uso? but they're doing it in a way where they know that they're going to get Ludwig Kaiser over as a heel and get him over as a babyface at the same time.
Because I think Imperium is going to, I don't want to say split, but I think they're going to try to push Ludwig. And I think right now to push him into some of these, top mid card titles.
Well, we kind of have to say that Imperium is split because
what I think they're doing is
Giovanni Vinci got moved over to SmackDown,
mistake.
so he's not part of it anymore. And then obviously like Gunther has been talking shit to Kaiser for like weeks now.
I think Kaiser wins that belt, and I think that's going to be a good time. So I think when Dragunov comes back, I want to see a Dragunov Kaiser feud.
Yeah, you told me last week that Dragunov's injured, and
he's injured.
I was surprised by that. I don't remember the injury, so Michael Turner asks, what if Natalya, Bliss, or Rhodes that jump Jade Cargill? I think Natalya is probably going to finish her career as a babyface. She may get one more heel run. They big showed her back and forth on the babyface heel thing for so long that like I think that now she's almost got that status of being, I mean, hell, she's the longest running female competitor.
Yeah.
Like in consecutive history, right? So I would think that the plan is to, when they show her, they're going to show her as such now. Like she's going to be like a Trish Stratus or a Lita when she comes in. She should win a match, but if they end up having like where they bring her in for a feud, then I could see her losing a couple matches there. As to who jumped Jade Cargill, I think it's going to be, if I had to guess, it's going to be somebody that maybe we haven't seen yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide that it's going to be someone like the NXT champion.
Who?
Roxy.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. Why not? Like take her out, and then all of a sudden, like when Jade comes out and she starts like trying to figure out who it is, like Roxy comes out and says, yeah.
I almost wouldn't be surprised if it was like a Lash Legend.
Well, and so Lash Legend took her place is taking her place in the U.S. title championship thing. So very good possibility. Again, a more known NXT competitor, though, obviously has been moved to the SmackDown brand at this point. They're all good questions, and all it means is that the women's division is going to get more play, which is better regardless.
Yes. Which is good, because if they're both shows are moving back to 3 hours, again, like I said, they have more time to flesh out these things.
Which is why I think they're going to announce a women's intercontinental title that will be the tournament will finalize on the very first Netflix episode.
Yeah.
Or they might do a single night tournament that night, which would be even cooler. Because I miss those. Like, we're going to have 8 competitors, so there's 4 matches to determine who wins that.
That's true, too, yeah.
Bronson Reed jumped Jade. Oh, Chris Barrett, you have a way of getting us not to want to take you seriously. So, all right. We had more developments with the Bloodline OG trying to figure out their 5th member, because obviously we learned that Bronson Reed was going to be the 5th member of Bloodline 2.0. And people are sitting there saying, I don't know how he fits. When you look at him with those other guys, he looks like he fits.
And they swerved us, because
we're not on that yet. You can talk about Seth all you want. here.
That's why if you let me finish my damn sentence.
Well, you're sleepy.
No. And I'm cranky. You cut me off again. You about to get cold. Um, so we were thinking when Bronson got picked to be on the bloodline, of course it had to be Seth. And they furthered that by having the bloodline come down and cost Seth Rollins his match with um with Bronson Reed. So there we go.
So we got our 50-50 booking like we always do.
Hmm.
But we also got that moment of, like you said, they're telling us one thing while Seth said something else, because Seth flat out said, there is no way in hell I will ever team with Roman Reigns again. So the question was, what do you believe? Do you believe the storyline that they're showing, or do you believe the storyline they're telling? And that's what I like about New Age WWE is that you can't always go on what's said. Sometimes you have to go on what you see. But in this situation, it was neither.
Hmm. And like you
Now,
said, we'll get to it when we get to later
I
on, but
mean,
I just wanted to put that out there.
we're supposed to talk about NXT next, but do you want to just jump right to SmackDown? Was there, because there was something.
On NXT? Yeah.
The big thing about NXT is that because I sent you some of the Thea Hale TikToks this week. Day
I
one
think,
without being part of Chase U.
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that happened there. They were
I
Rich
like that
Holland
she's running with that. By the way.
huh?
I like that she's running with that. By the way,
Yeah, Rich Holland and Andre Chase, sorry, were it's a number one contender match to meet Trick Williams for the belt. But if Ridge won, Chase U had to disband. So even with all the, and I thought he was going to do it. I thought Chase was going to do it. They all came down and helped them out. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, nope. Rich Holland still beat him.
you know what it is that the history of NXT, when they've needed that baby face moment, like Dexter Loomis saying "I do" to Indy Hartwell,
Yes.
we've always been given that moment. We've always been given the hug. We've always been given the big holy shit, like yes moment, right?
They didn't give it to us.
And after 4 years of Chase U being a thing, they have to disband.
And I'm sure they'll probably figure out a way to get them back together somehow and down the road. Because I don't know what do you do with Andre Chase now? Because
I
that's him. That's his.
maybe they do the sad Corbin thing with him.
Oh, I want to see that.
Oh, dude, sad Corbin was great. Did you hear Baron Corbin actually this past week won a jiu-jitsu tournament?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah, came in first in a major jiu-jitsu tournament. So
Nice.
good for former WWE employee. Uh a couple other things that happened. I don't remember exactly who the competitors were in it, but now we have more competitors for the Iron Survivor matches.
Hmm.
I think they finalized those because we're getting ready to come into Deadline, which will be which will give us a brand new number one contender in both the men's and women's divisions. I know that Stephanie Vaquer and Julia both advanced.
Hmm.
In the men's, Lexus King, I think, advanced, if
Did
I
he
remember
beat?
correctly.
Did he beat uh, OG?
I think
What's
he
the?
did. I think he did.
Okay.
Um, so some interesting stuff going on there. If anybody wants to chime in with who's actually going to be in that, that's great. I think we're going to move on to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I have a couple moments from SmackDown that we need to talk about specifically, Tino, before
Okay.
we get to our final non WWE or AEW topic, which is something we talked about a little bit before the show went on the air. So, uh, this week we got a confrontation between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And I loved when Kevin Owens came out saying that he was upset that Cody wasn't in his suit because he was dressed to the nines, wearing one of those
tuxedo
classic
t-shirt.
tuxedo t-shirts but he had the sleeves cut off. I mean, that's like a chef's kiss right there. That's like, like that's
Kevin Owens. Oh, Kevin.
I mean, he took that to a whole nother level, though. Like it was impressive, and the interaction between the two of them. Did you see? Like they kept showing Kevin Owens, and he was just sitting there like this,
Mm-hmm.
like he was shocked that Cody was saying what he was. Like Cody sitting there saying, "Let me go back a second and actually say that Cody started by dogging him in the conversation. But then he did something that most pro wrestling shows don't do all that often anymore. And he started giving the props for what the other person has accomplished. Because he started saying he's a former Universal Champion. He's a former Grand Slam champion. He won the tag team champions at the biggest at the biggest tag team match in WrestleMania history. He did this. And all he wants to do is whine and complain about what's going on with him. But I don't necessarily think he's wrong. And then Kevin Owens' rebuttal to him was he said, Cody, you don't look scared, but you should look scared because I did what I did to Randy Orton, and I love Randy Orton. I hate your guts. So what do you think I'm going to do to you? But then he played the classic heel and said, I'm not going to do it tonight. And I loved how when the crowd started booing, he was like, I'm definitely not doing it here tonight now.
Kevin Owens is awesome.
He is so good, dude. Like, I hope that he signs a new contract with the WWE because the character use that they're doing, yes, they kind of flippy flopped on his babyface heel thing. But he is a main event competitor.
Yeah.
And we've been saying this for how many years?
Maybe they're just not seeing it.
Well, I mean, he's always been a Triple H guy. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, which basically led to the main event of Saturday night's main event being announced today. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Yep. There you go, Michael Turner.
So let me ask you something. Does Kevin Owens have a chance?
Unfortunately, not on a Saturday night's main event. No.
I don't know, man. Their biggest show on network television, like that's a PLE pretty much, right?
I think Randy comes back and doesn't mean to, but causes a disqualification in that.
Aren't they doing it at some place like Madison Square Garden too?
I think so.
So I mean, they're doing it at like one of the world's most famous arenas, and then like having all that hype. But you're probably right.
And then make it a three-way.
You know what could happen? Randy Orton comes down, hits Kevin Owens, gets Kevin Owens or gets Cody Rhodes disqualified, which starts the whole road to the Royal Rumble being a three-way dance. Because obviously that will be after Survivor Series, which is this Saturday, and you're not even going to be in town because I would have thought the two of us are going to watch it together, but
I'll be gone.
We already talked about Jade Cargill's injury. So, I mean, LA Knight beat Santos Escobar.
We knew it
No,
was going to happen. No, we knew it was going to happen. It's no surprise. Come on.
but didn't that lead to something else at the end of that?
I don't think so.
Like, didn't someone else come down and start something there?
I'm tired. I don't remember.
Yeah, me neither. All right, we'll go to this. Who's the fifth man? So I want to talk about this from beginning to end because when the new bloodline showed up at the beginning of the show and they said it's time to admit surrender, blah blah blah. Something's brewing. You're assuming you're going to see Seth Rollins wearing the Shield gear, and the show goes on the way that it does, and they keep when the bloodline actually shows up. The OG. First of all, Sammy is wearing a different shirt than everybody else.
I noticed that too.
And in fact, I was almost hoping he was going to have an OGHU OG honorary Uso shirt.
Yeah.
But they did him right. They gave him the Sammy Uso shirt. They go backstage. They're sitting there. And Jay is sitting there like going, I don't know who we can ask. I don't know what we can do. He said somebody's name. Oh, he said Cody Rhodes. And Roman looked at him and said, no, we've been there before. We've done that. That's in the past. And then Sammy looks at him and goes, well, I could make one more play at Seth Rollins. And that just gets an evil look from Roman. Like, and Sammy's like, okay, no Seth Rollins. and then Roman sits there and does what Roman should do. And he sits there and goes, we don't need anybody. We're already the bloodline. We're already the OGs. We'll just take them 4-on-5. Like, what's that? Like, you think you got a? We can take it. We can beat them. And they like the Usos both are like, yeet. And then Sammy looks at him and goes, all right. And we get to the end of the show. We had other matches that happened, obviously, but they were mostly inconsequential. Although tonight's Raw matches, by the way, are going to like the women's match is supposed to give the War Games advantage, which I assume means that SmackDown will have a War Games advantage match for the men. It'll probably be like Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed, if I had to guess. So there we go. But we get to where the new bloodline is in the ring. And I love Bronson Reed's new t-shirt, by the way, because it looks like a tidal wave or a tsunami. And it's just a big Bronson Reed in the middle of like the wave. Looks great. But he, like I told you, he looks like he's part of the bloodline now. Like he looks like he's legit in there. And then the OTC's music comes on. They all come out together. They all walk all the way down. They get in the ring. Solo sits there. And I love how Solo sits there and says, I don't want this match. I don't want to beat you guys down. I love all of you. I still love each and every one of you. I just want you to understand what the hierarchy is at this point. And he then hands the microphone off to Roman. And Tino, I'll let you take it.
Well, Roman, like before he could say anything, all of a sudden you hear, ladies and gentlemen. Because I don't think Roman got a chance to speak.
He didn't. And what did Roman do?
He kind of looked around. He was like shocked. He was surprised. Because remember, I think it was last week when he tried to call Paul, it went
which was awesome, by the way.
So Paul Heyman comes down. I'm like, what's this? I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh shit, it's gonna be Brock. That was my thought. And all of a sudden he goes, there will be a fifth member. And he points. Cult of personality.
Versus 5. It'll be 5 versus 5.
And then cult of personality hits. And when I tell you that was not even in the realm of possibility in my imagination for it to be CM Punk.
It makes very
But
little
did CM
sense
Punk but
from the
did
line area.
did Bronson take out CM Punk with one of those tsunamis stuff? I
No.
can't remember. Okay, well then I don't. It doesn't make sense.
No. So, but interestingly enough, when CM Punk's coming down, he's wrapping the one wrist. Like it almost seemed like he just got told backstage that he's going out there. He's wrapping up the wrist. He walks all the way down, and
It's
of
not just
course,
the wrist. He's wrapping the fist. He was
yeah,
ready to fight.
yeah. But it was only one of them because normally he comes out with both of them like fully wrapped, and he had. I mean, he was still wrapping as he's
Yeah,
walking down. And he rips it off, throws it back, and as soon as he gets in the ring, like he
they
doesn't
go
look
at
at
it.
anybody in the bloodline. He literally just goes for Bronson Reed.
Yep.
And he just starts hitting them, and the baby faces get the one up, and there's a moment where CM Punk and Sammy take Bronson Reed over the top rope, and it looked like it was poetry in motion between the two of them. Like they looked like they were on the same page. Then you see the three or the whole Bloodline 2.0 outside the ring, and you see the Usos and Sammy do what they do. They go and they all flip out, and I'm waiting for one of them to like not get up from it because someone never takes that hit right. And you literally get CM Punk and Roman like looking at each other, and they both, one of them has to take out Solo, one of them has to take out, what was it, Jacob Fatu? I don't remember.
Yeah.
They take out the two members of 2.0. They roll out of the ring. Punk is sitting there, and you just see Paul Heyman like still down on the bottom of the rope, and he's got that evil like fucking grin on his face that only Paul Heyman can do. Like I just tried to do it, I can't do it. And then Paul Heyman climbs up to the top. Everybody from the Bloodline hops into the ring. And you see, and I'm going to let you take it after I say this part, but you see Roman Reigns sit there and say, "What are you doing?" And CM Punk looks at him and goes, "I'm not doing this for you." And he keeps going, I'm doing this for him. And he's pointing at Paul Heyman. And then you sent me a TikTok, but I'd already heard about it. But what got explained in that part, Tino? Because there's one other thing I want to talk about after you say this.
So there's a girl on TikTok, and for the past little bit, she's been saying that what if Jimmy Uso was the mastermind behind um
2.0.
Bloodline 2.0, right? And so we're like, and she was making some points. I'm like, yeah, I can think about it. But at the end of that match, and I didn't even notice it until I saw her TikTok, when Paul Heyman is standing on the apron, I think it's like, and then Roman's ahead, and then there's somebody, and then there's Jimmy. Paul looks at Jimmy and he winks. And I was like, holy shit.
And if you blink, you miss it. Like, let's be real. If you blink, you miss that.
Yep. And the TikTok I sent you, it even slowed it down.
She broke it down to like the second. She's like, I'm at 20 seconds into this segment. When I go to 23, and that's when you all of a sudden, like I was telling Tino, you see Paul Heyman's eyes get wider, so you actually see the whites in his eyes, and then one of them winks. But he's got that
Jimmy.
And his wink looks so unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it is obvious and apparent. And it's creepy, actually. And there's one other part of this Easter egg situation here, Tino, because we already talked about the CM Punk Easter egg of him saying, "I'm not here for you, I'm here for him." We've already talked about the wink to Jimmy Uso. But then there's that one other one that I was talking about before we got on the air.
And you said you didn't tell me. You said you wanted to say it on the show.
It's Paul Heyman. Well, no, I did tell you, but it's Paul
Oh yeah,
Heyman
you did.
wearing the same outfit that Solo Sikoa used to wear down to the ring, where it's the red
Yeah.
T-shirt and the black suit coat.
You did say that. Yeah.
And because as long as I can remember, ever since Paul Heyman cut that ponytail, he has been dressed to the nines in a top line suit
And tie.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, and we're talking we're talking the vest, we're talking we're talking pinstripes, we're talking whatever the case might be. Like he's not going to Men's Warehouse to buy those suits.
Mm-mm.
Like he's getting them specially tailored at like where the Kingsmen get theirs. Like John Wick gets the same kind of suits that Paul Heyman gets, but him wearing a red T-shirt and a suit coat, and Roman having no idea that he's there, has to have people wondering, like, what's going on there.
Yeah.
And it's got it. Now, could it be a red herring? Absolutely. Could it be that Triple H knows that people are looking really closely at some of this stuff on WWE programming now and whatever to sit there and make sure that they're seeing everything? Absolutely. It is highly possible. But that also means, like we said earlier, sometimes what you hear, sometimes what you see isn't how it plays out. But I could see a couple different things. I could see them saying, if they want to turn CM Punk heel right now, and I don't think they do, but if they did, I could see him being the head of the new bloodline. I mean, hell, he was the head of the new Nexus.
Maybe.
He also does have history with almost all of the members of the bloodline at one point or another, including being almost best friends with the Usos when Roman was part of the Shield, right? So you have that. He also beat Umaga, who is the uncle of how many of those guys?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of reason why CM Punk long-term storytelling actually does fit here. At the same time, he really doesn't, except for the fact that if you're going to bring the Wise Man back, you only have two options of who you bring back there. You either bring back CM Punk or you bring back Brock Lesnar. Yep. Brock Lesnar still hasn't been cleared to wrestle with the WWE because of legal, so you can't bring him back. CM Punk makes sense. And it's the 1 year anniversary since he was brought back.
Yeah.
So awesome ending to SmackDown.
Yes. Awesome. Excuse me.
So, Tino, last thing I want to talk about, and I'll make it quick. Currently,
the
Hardy Brothers, who are the TNA Tag Team Champions of the world, are not wrestling under contract.
I think, like I told you before we went on, I think they're going to end up in WWE. They're going to end their career. But they're going to drop those belts before.
So they are currently working under the assumption, at least based on what I read, they're working under the assumption that they will work out, like, they'll be fair to TNA. They're not going to leave the company with their titles or anything like that. TNA's been very good to both Hardy Brothers for years. And every time that they've needed a place to go, like Tommy Dreamer has picked them up and let them work, with Anthem. So it seems to be a good spot for them. And I think you're right. I think that we could see one or both of them show up in the Royal Rumble. I think that we could see them ending their career at WrestleMania, or winning the titles at WrestleMania one more time, because obviously the last time they showed up at a WrestleMania after they hadn't been there for 8 years or whatever, it was a shock to the world. And the New Day were the ones that were like, we're not in this match, but these guys are, and that went over really well. So I don't think we're going to have any craziness go on here, but I could see them make an appearance on NXT. I could see them defend their titles on NXT. I don't, but it'd be interesting, and it's interesting knowing they don't have contracts, because obviously they do have the resume to be WWE Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, does WWE currently feel like they have the resume to be Hall of Famers?
Yeah, because once they're Hall of Famers, they don't wrestle anymore. It's generally how that works, right?
I mean, Rey Mysterio's still wrestling.
Oh, that's true.
So yes, you're right with that. But even Edge, he was the Hall of Famer in 2009, and he came back and wrestled for 5 years.
Mm.
So I don't think that that's really the case anymore. Though there are wrestlers that say, like not Bryan Danielson, but someone just recently said, I won't accept the WWE Hall of Fame invitation right now because I'm still. Oh, AJ Styles said I didn't accept the TNA Hall of Fame induction because I'm still an active wrestler.
Mm.
So he said it wasn't WWE that said I couldn't go. It was me saying no because I'm still active. Now, granted, now he's injured, so who knows? But anyways, that's pretty much the last thing I had, Tino.
Me too.
I'm gonna put this back up here, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and start giving all your socials. I know that you left one of them.
I did. I left Twitter, X. I'm at Blue Sky, whichever that. I can't even remember Blue Sky handle now. But I'm still on the Insta, Tino. I am still on the Snapchat, Tino. I am still on TikTok, Tino over Music. You can catch us here each. Huh?
Is that your Blue
Sky? I don't remember my Blue Sky.
Tino Jones 99.
No. Then you catch us here on the Pots and Pan Network on Facebook. We are Potsy and Tino Show. Twitter, Potsy and Tino. We're gonna say thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. You can get it for the low price on iTunes for 99 cents. 99 Jones. Your turn.
Instagram, Rob Pochak and Rob Potsy Pochak. Twitter or X, I'm in Pochak. Blue Sky, I'm Rob Potsy Pochak. I'm Rob Potsy Pochak on Snapchat, on Twitch, on... There's at least one more that I'm missing right now.
TikTok?
Maybe not. I don't know.
TikTok?
Oh, yeah, TikTok, Rob Potsy Pochak. There I am. Thank you for that. So, yes, folks, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day.
We are thankful for each and every one of you. We're thankful for Taz always calling everything Jones.
Jones?
Yeah, I don't have an Apple, so mine won't do any. Oh, there you go. Look at you doing it. 99. Yes, Chris Barrett, absolutely. Everybody have a wonderful holiday. We will miss you. Tino's going to be out of town. We will be back Monday, though.
I'll be tired of shit. We'll see.
All right. Worst case scenario, Rob will be running it by himself next week. But the plan is that we will have both of us on the show.
That's the plan.
At least for a little while. But yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. We will see you next week. And for everybody that isn't watching Superman and Lois, there's only 2 episodes left. And watch Cross. Here we go.
Ready? Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino show.
Thanks for watching.